Hey, you, welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we're going to talk about Ono, the social media site that's going to launch on the EOS blockchain. Had done a previous video on Ono and understood it to be now open to users in the East, in China, but received some great news that Ono will be open to the international community coming up very soon here in the near future. And that's very exciting news for me as I've gotten a little bit more time to research and look into the platform. I'm finding there are a lot of great things about this platform that I like, that I definitely want to check out as soon as it's available for the international community. So Ono will be launching on, it will be the first social media site to launch on the EOS block or the EOS blockchain. And that's very big because EOS has been big in the cryptocurrency world as of late. The value of it's just shot to the roof. And it's been this big conversation about is EOS in itself going to be valuable? Is the token going to be valuable? And various things like that. So this comes, within all of this happening, and Ono, in my opinion, from what I can see so far, is solving a lot of problems with social media on the blockchain. Specifically problems that have plagued us in other social media sites that have been built on the blockchain. And it's very important that you have various social media sites open up on various blockchains, because competition is always going to be healthier. It's going to breed better products and situations for us all. It's going to hold everybody to task. It's going to self-correct issues, as well as raise and lift the human spirit in terms of making it to the next level and transcending into something else. And I think Ono has figured that out. Now, of course, Ono does have the advantages. I'm looking at the white paper here. It has the advantage of kind of not being one of the first out the gate, but kind of being able to look at some of the problems and issues that went before it, and now it can kind of solve many of those problems. And I'm confident that Ono is going to get a lot of things right. What's been very appealing to me, it has been the equality element of Ono. Sometimes when a good idea comes up and it needs to be funded, that particular idea is going to be contained by the dollars behind it that fund it and make it possible. It's going to be limited in some cases to what the big dollars behind the investment wants it to do. And so there are a lot of dangers that come into play when you're dealing with investor dollars, and a lot of principles can be compromised. Now, with the Ono social media site, it looks like, I don't know if this is a story or I could be saying this incorrectly. I don't want to say that, but my understanding has been that there have been some big investment dollars offered, but Ono may or may not do an ICO, and we may get that or we may not. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work yet, as I'm still reviewing this, but the purpose of this video is mostly to talk about it being open to the international community, but also just to express my personal opinion about why I think Ono will work. And I think what's disturbing to people in the social media space, especially this type of social media, has been the conversation of is there fairness in the social media space on the blockchain, and how you deal with value in itself. And when we talk about value, a lot of times first thing comes to mind is, how much aggregate dollars are being distributed on a post. And that's kind of part of it too, but to really understand the creation of value, I think what's been one major issue in social media sites, on these decentralized platforms, has been the idea that the value in social media, it's valuable when the dollars are put forth into it. Whereas I think it should be looked at in reverse, that the social media itself is valuable, and the dollars that are put into it is just being displayed, is just a representative of, or representative value of that, of the value of the information and content that's available. So for me, in my view, it's all about trying to make all of that balance out, and not just be money coming on the inside, just being pumped into various platforms. And so I think Ono is on the right track to maybe achieving that. Steam at the first out of the gate was successful. It's the first of its kind. But sometimes what can happen is when you're the first out the gate, and you have to make the mistakes first that other people may not have to make. That's going to create a situation where you're going to have a lot of problems to deal with, and Ono's able to address, I think, many of these key issues that's going to make a lot of people want to join Ono, myself included, and that has been this democratic equality evaluation system, or value system, to the content that's being put out on this social media sites on the blockchain. And the only way to correct this, that Ono seems to get, if I understand it correctly, the direction they're going to, is by making our votes equal across the board in various ways. Now, and leaving it up to the people to decide that. Now, as I've looked into various models and tried to figure out the best way to do that, my view is the simplest way to approach something like that initially would be to, if you're going to have your set of investors come in, have them come in as like silent partners, where they fund the projects, and they do get a certain amount of kickback, whether it's like in the form of a type of bond or some type of dividend or interest payment on their investment. But then you take them outside the community, where the community can, in a healthy way, function on its own, over a fair ecosystem, not where I can just come in with X amount of dollars and I can control and change systems. That's one problem we're having with the Bitcoins, right, and various other coins across the blockchain, is that the big influencers, the big money that's involved in these platforms, they can have disagreements and cause the entire system to break off into these forks, right? So if the idea is for it to be decentralized, which in a way to me means democratic, when you're taking something away from a central authority, you're making it more democratic. So my assumption is that means we want to get as democratic as we can across the board, right? And so these new social media sites that come out and that are able to accomplish that, they're going to be quite appealing to the masses of people who don't have the big influence of voices and power. Remember, it's only a very small, minute part of a social media community that is going to be able to wield that type of influential power. Most of everyone else is going to be the voice, a silent voice, right? And so that's going to stir people to look for other alternatives. And it's going to stir competition. But I think overall that's going to be good, because what it's going to do is it's going to make the systems better. And as I'm speaking on that, come right across this part of the white paper that's talking about demand for equality and respect. What happens when you have one great big influencer whose opinion just happens to be different from your own? That can be very dangerous, as we've seen. And so that needs to be addressed. And it looks like that's what's going to be happening. That's why a lot of people are excited about these platforms, these new platforms coming forward. Some haven't been successful. They haven't caught on, although I think their ideas have been good. They haven't had the backing or the money perhaps behind them to make them what they need to be, where some others have. And so that's something, that we're going to get to see as, over the course of the next, several months, get played out in these various experiments in these social media sites. Now, again, I made a mistake on a prior video where I was saying that this is only involved for the Eastern, our Eastern brothers and sisters and community across the world, but it will be international, and that's being worked on. Also, very interesting. I didn't know this was what was going on, but there are a lot of Steemians who are part of this in some way, influential Steemians that are working with the Ono team, which makes a lot of sense to me, as this is, in some ways, Ono to me almost seems like, in many ways, what Steem It should have been from the beginning. And so, Steem It is successful in its own right, and it's done very good. And I think Steem is going to go on to do very well, especially with the SMTs and letting people run their various types of business models the way they want, but using the Steem blockchain. But when it comes to within the context of social media itself on blockchains and being what I would deem to be the number one, Steem It doesn't have the proper setup to be the number one social media site on the across blockchains at this point in time. Right now, to me, it seems to be the most successful of them out of the gate early, but I don't know if that will be the ending verdict. I think you're going to have something that takes into consideration many things, like what Ono's doing. And they also have, as I believe I came across, where there will be advertising, but you will have the option to turn advertising off or leave it on, which makes perfect sense. If a person is concerned about data collection, their privacy, just make it so they can disable those features. It's not necessarily a problem, or it doesn't need to demonetize or punish the entire system, because some people have trouble with various, companies coming in, various things like that. I think there can be a way that there could be value brought to the platform through many ways, and that whether it be just based on our ideas of what's valuable in content itself, or through advertisers coming in and us having the option to block ads from them or accept them and sharing some type of revenue, or go back to help the structure and the value of Ono itself. This idea of either or. We have to do this, we have to have ads, or we don't, to create more value to the platform, to create more sustainability to the platform, never really made a whole bunch of sense to me. And, unfortunately, when you don't have a centralized authority or view, and you do have to go through a more democratic means, a more decentralized means, then yes, you will have these various breaks of opinion, and it's sometimes hard to come together and get things done. And that's how come that can stipend or rather halt progress, throughout the course of a platform growing and various things like that. Also very interesting, Ono grew their first week looks like by 50,000 users. That's just insane. 50,000 users within the first week. So shows that Ono can get the userships very quickly. I think when I first got to Steam, it was like 200,000 people, and it had been going over a year, I believe. And this is already at it's like 50,000 first week. I don't know what it is now, but I would assume it's only going to be a lot bigger and probably going to grow very, very quickly over time. So it's going to be very interesting to watch what Ono does. Now, I don't exactly understand where all the money is going to come from to make the votes equal out. Even if I understand fully that idea, what I do understand is that the votes are supposed to be equal. And whatever that amount may be or whatever that may mean. Now, is that a good thing? Or would that work perfectly? I have no idea. I've seen other sites like Solo and some others try to attempt this, and you see these very small votes and not very much activity. And my assumption is it's because they're underfunded or people aren't aware of them or people just don't think the model will work, because a lot of times when people are in a model already that seemingly works, it's no reason to abandon that model and try to go on to something else. But I think at this point, it's gonna be a good thing for us to see all these various ideas and concepts work together, and then we can see what works and what doesn't work, and we can find where the work needs to be done and where the focus needs to be, in this particular situation. And so that's where we're at with that. But I'm excited to see what Ono's going to do. I definitely think Ono's going to do a lot better job than other attempts at social media across the blockchain. So far, we've really only had Steemit. That's pretty much it. There are other ones like I believe it's like Library. It's I can't think of the other one right now, but I have looked into a few others, and obviously they haven't caught quite a grab of impact for mass adoption like maybe like Steemit could do, and what I think Ono is going to be able to do. And so that's going to be all very interesting to watch. And I'm going to be paying close attention to Ono. I have some other videos on Ono you can check out as well. And there is a Ono they are present on Steemit, so you can go to their Steemit blog posts and you can get a lot of up-to-date information on what's going on with them. But I just wanted to talk about it being available to the international community now, and that we will be able to join Ono soon, and I will definitely be joining. I am a big supporter of competition, and I will always seek out some type of competition, or create it to make the systems better for all of us. Guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.